I am Mr. Nimbus. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And joining us tonight is our special guest from Just Giggle It, the creator and main star of Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world. It's Joshua Thomas.
Oh, you guys are too kind. I'm only the main star because there's a revolving cast of all the other ones. So that's it. That's the only reason. Oh my God, guys, it's so good to hear your voices again and catch up. I hate that so much time goes between our little chats here, but it's such a good occasion to get back acquainted with Rick and Morty Season 5, Episode 1. And also a special occasion because I don't know if this has ever happened before for you guys, but we are streaming on dual platforms. You guys are live on So You Want to Be an Imagineer. I am live on Just Giggle It. And for all those of you watching on Just Giggle It, the link is in the description. Go subscribe to So You Want to Be an Imagineer because you're so close to 1,000 subscribers.
We're so close. Dude, we're so close. Yeah. So close. It's like anyway. we're on the tip of it. We're just it's driving me nuts, but at the same time it's exciting.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so we're here for Rick and Morty Season 5 premiere, recap, talk all the goodness, catch up a little bit with you guys. How you been, boys? What's been going on?
Well, I mean, I've definitely been in kind of like pre-gaming mode for when we do hit that 1,000 subscribers mark. I've been, I mean, probably some of the plans I should talk over with my associate here because it's all kind of been in my own head. But, you know, a little inside baseball there. You know, we're definitely the 1,000 subscriber mark for me is a big, you know, it's a big milestone. It's something that it's basically been my main goal for a while. You know, once I realized like, hey, I can do this and more than just my immediate friends and family can watch, you know? So, you know, we've just been putting a lot of, you know, a lot of plans in place, greasing the wheels, you know, trying to build up our repertoire of guests and whatnot. So, yeah.
I mean, I think that you guys have been killing it with all the, you know, the regular shows that you've been covering. Case in point, what we're here today to talk about. You know, you're doing it with all the wonderful Marvel shows. And then obviously Rick and Morty is just a huge one. So, you know, anyway, just to shout these guys out, they're big supporters of Just Giggle It. I can't stress enough to make sure you go subscribe to them, especially if you love podcasts, if you love like recaps of shows. They cover the whole gambit from TV shows to movies and everything in between. And if you're looking for a good place to start, movie memoirs, baby, movie memoirs.
Be all encompassing. If you got nowhere to be or you want something on the go, put on some movie memoirs. That's the show.
Oh God!
I don't know. How did you guys come up with the whole like? Is it the delayed dragon coming in late movie memoir? Like you can never say it at the same time, but it's in a beautiful fun.
Right. Oh God,
man. Well,
I just saw the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard is a little hint of the next movie memoirs, and I can tell you the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard is like the most 6 out of 10 movie that is ever 6 out of 10.
Oh my God, just good, but barely good.
Right, exactly.
I'm all over the Ryan Reynolds movies, so I definitely have thoughts on that. So
I can't wait for Free Guy. I'm excited about Free Guy.
I am me too. I'm so looking forward to Free Guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm really thrilled to be on here to finally talk Loki with you guys. I'm just kidding. But we are talking multiverse, so it's kind of on point.
All right. I'm chomping at the bits to talk about this episode. So
do it.
I don't know how y'all feel about this one, but I thought this was pretty effing magnificent for a season starter for Rick and Morty. I really I thought, you know, I will give a criticism right off the bat that I don't know how I feel about the Beth and Jerry subplot. I thought that got a little repetitive. The whole like,
I know how I feel about it.
Everything else in the episode, I thought Mr. Nimbus was fucking hilarious. I loved the animations and the poses on him. It just totally just cracked me up. And honestly, the storyline going on with the Narnia portal, some of the cleverest, most heady sci-fi that this show's done in a long time. So I really thought that it might not be like one of the best episodes ever, but I thought it was a great kind of like, all right, like if all the episodes are like this, like I feel like we're on a good track here. Like I really dug it for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dragon, what did you? Please share your thoughts as well overall.
All right, yeah. So overall, this premiere, mundane yet a bombastic of a premiere. I mean, my God, it's so funny how they kind of took me a little back to season 3, where season 3 is like, okay, we're in the big leagues now. We have, Rick's been captured. We have all that going on. Of course, we have a little bit of pathos, and of course, we bring it back to the man. The man's crazy about his nuggets, about the McNugget sauce. More accurately, he's after that Szechuan. Szechuan sauce, the Mulan McNugget sauce. So I like that we've kind of taken that, and we've kind of taken this pattern of, okay, so it's we start off huge, yet it's essentially My Dinner with Andre, with again our peaks and valleys of kind of sci-fi glory as we kind of ratchet it up, and the stakes just kind of. Just kind of evolve, and they just kind of extrapolate. This kind of get bigger and bigger as we kind of expand centuries with our wonderful time device in this.
Yeah, it's Mort Dinner Rick Andre.
Yes,
let's be clear about that.
Well, no, I don't. Yeah,
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I think that you often do hit the nail on the head, and the simplicity of this episode just being a dinner guest, but obviously with all just a side plot of running for wine. Like one of my favorite lines in this episode is the what is it? Let me see. I have it written down. Do you see this Whisper Kitchen Frasier bullshit?
My favorite gag in the episode. Just because I live for those Frasier setups, and I'm so happy with it.
I mean, it's so all encompassing. It's a Frasier setup. Frasier's daughter is who plays Summer in the show. I mean, it's just amazing. But that being said, it's very much just like a traditional sitcom plot line, but in the Rick and Morty world can be bananas, and that's what we get into. I think I put it in the email when I was talking to Dragon about covering this with you guys. I was excited to, because that plot line of, you call it like the Narnia plot line, the the alternate time dimension or whatever, it's just so delicious. Like you knew where it was going, or at least let's just jump into the episode. But I knew where it was going immediately. I had no idea they would take it as a through line through the whole episode.
The moment Hoovy walked through
Gaffigan too.
Yep. By the way, Jim Gaffigan in Luca, and playing Luca's dad.
A little bit of background on this episode, at least from my perspective. It's pretty crazy because I know the writer who wrote this personally, as Jeff well Loveness. As the staff writer. Yeah, Jeff Loveness. I've been to, he's more of an acquaintance, but I'm really good friends with 2 of his old roommates. And that's where I met him. I used to go to his house all the time. I used to watch him in the sketch shows with my friends. He has such a zany brain, and it just it was just so beautiful to see, kind of like comedy I've seen get refined over the years and put on screen here. The other staff writer who helped out on this is Siobhan Thompson, who I met at College Humor. And she actually was on the show Troopers. She, I worked with her doing voiceover there and stuff. I think she was dating, little Goss, Josh Whedon at the time. I don't know if that's still going on, but it's just crazy to know like the minds behind the episode, and to completely forget that while I'm watching it, because they're doing like this world is just so rich and full, and it's such a beautifully crafted episode. I mean, they just know what they're doing so well at this point in season 5. It's crazy.
Yeah. Really quick, we got Claude Coringa in the comments. He says he gives a shout out to Jim Gaffigan, and also it took 5 seasons, but Morty had a very close shot at getting with Jessica. So let's go ahead and double back to the cold open for the episode, which was also great. Just like, holy shit, are we Blades in that one? That's fucking tight.
Did you guys have deja vu because you watched the trailer? Like, I put it on and I was like, wait, is this an old episode?
I made a point to kind of avoid the trailers for the most part.
Oh, wow. Okay, and so the trailer is the cold open.
Yeah, I'm glad I did that because like my dad was watching with me, and he was very at that point, like, I mean, he was cracking up at Mr. Nimbus, but he pretty much like knew what to expect from Mr. Nimbus. Whereas like, you know, I think I'd seen like a couple shots of the guy in like, you know, various marketing, but I didn't really have any sort of a grasp on like, oh my God, like that, you know, I basically had like the reaction that Jerry had watching the episode, like, that is Rick's enemy.
Yeah.
A Namor parody,
right? And like I said, I love I love just the animation on Nimbus is just delicious. Just how just the flexes and, you know, the thrusts and the poses. It's, oh my God, it's so funny.
Well, I saw the little behind the scenes afterwards that they put on, and Jeff was talking about how Mr. Nimbus was a character that was apparently scrapped from an earlier episode, but everyone in the office just was in love with him. We're like, we got to bring him back sometime.
I could totally see that.
I wonder. A friend of mine was giddy as all get out going into this episode, going to the premiere. He's a big Rick and Morty fan. He was really excited about Mr. Nimbus, and I had to explain to him who Namor the Submariner was, just to explain, like, yeah, well, here's kind of what he's similar to. But he told me, you know, he was so excited because of the whole Rick Lantis mix-up, and we kind of call back to that with the mermaid thing. So he was like wondering, oh, maybe that's why he's Rick's nemesis. So I wondered if perhaps, I wonder if there was any stage of the Rick Lantis mix-up where they actually contemplated the mermaid thing as like the full episode, and perhaps that was where Mr. Nimbus was supposed to be. In terms of maybe the original appearance. I'm clearly speculating there. Maybe that was just a coincidence. But regardless, we tied into each other in this episode with him. Like, I knew that was you. So, yeah.
So, yeah, very high stakes right off the bat. Like, pretty much like the most dire. Like, it's not quite as endgame as like that one scene that we got where I forget what the context even was. Like wasn't it like the train?
It was the story. Yeah, it was the story train.
Yeah, the story train. Right.
They saw the ending at the evil Morty,
where it was like, yeah, just like the ultimate like Avengers Endgame style. Like, all right, this is everything paying off. Like, but other than that, like, this is about the most like cataclysmic Endgame opening that we've ever gotten for Rick and Morty.
Now, a couple things I want to note about the opening real quick. Okay, first of all, I sense a pattern this season with this opening. The pattern of we tease a major Rick and Morty bit of growth, as in like the opening was huge in that regard. And by the end of the episode, we're just going to, that growth, we're going to minimize it, but it's like they moved an inch forward. You know, they moved an inch forward. You know, at the end of the day, you know, Rick, he helps Morty when he's calling for him for help. And then by the same token, Morty, he's moving forward past the Jessica stuff, which we'll get to, and also, you know, we have again as you know, as Morty steps up and he saves Rick from a very finale kind of level event. I think it's just so funny that we have this. I'm convinced there's like a running gag now since season 4 onward of we tease up all these potential endings to the show. Despite knowing it's been renewed for, you know, for at least, what is it, like for 70 episodes from season 4?
Yeah.
So wait, how many episodes are there exactly?
I want to say season 4 onward they were renewed for 70, so that's 7 seasons. So that's so it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up to 10 seasons. Yeah. So I love the fact that they're teasing up endings. Yeah. They're teasing up endings this early. It just seems so funny to me. Like, this is the ending. Well, not really.
All right. No, so. Of course,
I also want to point out my favorite scene in the new opening credits is Morty sinking a putt. And like that,
I know, right? That was great. Nothing crazy about it. Yeah, me too. I like that.
Yeah. I literally had to rewind it to like, was there crazy in that? No, it was just him sinking a putt.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's good. That's fucking funny.
Also, it's just for the Cap fan in me. I love that Morty had almost like a Captain America First Avenger moment with Jessica as he was going down.
Oh my God,
just asking for the first date. Just like, I'm sorry, things didn't. Our time was always off, Jessica. And she's like, you know, hey, you want to do a movie night? Sure. It's like the date that's never going to happen. But oh my God, this date could happen. He actually lands it.
Exactly. I know. I was reading again, Kiki. The trailer was that opening, that cold open. Yeah. And so many of the comments are like, the power of the pussy is literally what made Morty save his own life.
Right.
every comment is like, he got it. Yeah, no, I think I started rewatching Rick and Morty to prep for this, but oh shit, there goes my Joker painting behind me. Sorry,
No!
Sorry, here we go. It's just gonna go sometimes. Okay. Anyway, what's it called? The the cold open. Oh no, I was saying I was rewatching in preparation, but I was only mostly through season 3, and yeah, I think the episode that the most stood out to me in this episode that I was recalling was Morty takes Jessica out on a date, and they kind of talk about it like we've had our opportunities in the past, and he just straight up blows it. But they do a good job at like not going to that well too often. Like they keep Jessica at the forefront of your mind, but they don't do episode after episode where Morty actually gets a shot with her. So this seemed actually, special. It had weight behind it of, her actually still coming back and like, hey, let's give it another go, So I just
last time we did the whole toxic Rick and Morty thing, there was a whole kerfuffle.
Right, exactly.
Let's give another shot.
Yeah, the toxic Rick and Morty when he removes the toxin and Morty gets confident and then ends up dating some
American Psycho Morty. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got Fago Rain on the Just Giggling.
Fago Rain.
Fago Rain. Oh, is there a crazy echo? I'm sorry, Fago. Thank you for somebody telling me.
Oh shoot, yeah.
No, it's not you guys. It's all me.
No, it's not on our end. But yeah.
No, it's not on your end at all. I'm gonna throw on
nothing but Fago like Gene Kelly.
I'm gonna throw on some headphones and see if that kind of helps. One sec here. Go ahead and keep going, boys. Keep going.
Claudia on our end says Rick and Morty will probably end with a movie, which I could see it.
Possibly.
At the very least, like a TV movie event. I don't know. Maybe. Probably not their style, but it'd be cool though.
I mean, Adult Swim did do an Aqua Teen movie in theaters.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they just get some crazy rights to be able to do like a Flintstones meets the Jetsons kind of movie, but I don't even know what show they would go through. All right, Fago's telling me that's better on my end. Great, good deal. We got Irish lover Jessica is going to be a time god. Yep, damn straight. Let me see here. So we get through the cold open. We get basically to Rick setting up for Mr. Nimbus, who is played by Dan Harmon. FYI, to all those wondering.
Who also, if anything ever happens to Justin Roiland, and he will probably take over the Rick role, by the way, because he does it close.
Oh, here's another point I had to ask you guys. I'm so happy to be recovering this. Did you guys feel like Justin Roiland was like, don't use any effects on my Rick voice this season? It sounded a little higher pitched to me. Like there wasn't anything on it. And more so on the rewatch when I was rewatching it on YouTube for free. It's free on YouTube, guys. Go check it out.
Yeah, and uncensored.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was a really good move on Adult Swim's part, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think they should put the whole. I mean, can you imagine who'd be watching Loki if it were on YouTube? Good God,
it would be. I don't know how practical it'd be, but it'd be awesome.
No, not practicality, but yeah, I think it's a brilliant move on Adult Swim's part. I was even seeing, I as a YouTuber, I'm always, and you guys too, I'm sure, always browsing the comments. So I was looking through the comments on the Rick and Morty episode when I was watching it, and just seeing stuff like, who else would not be able to watch it if Adult Swim didn't put it up? Or oh, I'm so happy I wouldn't have any other option aside from pirating it, so it's just yeah, I just thought it was a very solid move on their part, and they love their fans for sure. So,
yeah, I didn't notice anything with Rick's voice. Honestly, I guess I wasn't looking. I didn't know they ever really altered it, aside from maybe using some drunk takes from occasionally, which they have done before. So I never really thought of them altering his voice.
Give it a rewatch on YouTube, or just maybe the first 10, 5 minutes or so, and just hear, really listen to Rick when he's setting up for Nimbus at the dinner table. It just sounds like I don't know if there is anything ever on it, but it very much just sounds like Justin Roiland's in a higher register. He's not dropping down that low for the Rick part. Yeah. It just kind of seemed way more in a higher register.
Okay, wait, are you saying they didn't alter it, or they did alter it to make it higher?
I have no idea if they're altering it. I'm assuming because of how different it sounded to me this season that he either is like way more committed, and he's not as committed anymore because he's like, that kills my voice. And I've heard him say that specifically in interviews. But and here we go. Fago Rain with the Attaboy. I feel like it was less gravelly to me, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes, Fago Rain, perfect. It was less gravelly, a lot less of the in there. So,
I never thought of that. Okay, well, I'll be on the lookout for that.
Please. I just want to know that I'm not crazy, and I know you look out for those types of details. So give it a watch.
I'll confirm that you're not crazy, sir. I'll look into it later. I will confirm with you. I will let you know.
Oh man. All right, cool. So I know we're kind of meandering through this first part of the scene, but go ahead, Tiki or Dragon. You guys want to take us through it?
Yeah, I mean, we just did kind of like the dinner party setup, which, by the way, can we just acknowledge how great it is that they named an episode after My Dinner with Andre?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I knew you were going to be really excited about that, but I had no idea what the first episode was going to be called until the day that premieres. Like, oh boy, he's going to love this.
Oh, I did. As soon as I saw it, I did.
He's going to make a meal out of this one.
I've never seen that movie, to confess. I'm sorry.
Oh, Josh.
Billy Crystal, right?
Man. I'm not sure exactly how you'd feel about it. It's literally a whole movie that's just set in a restaurant with two people having a conversation.
Wait, is it Billy Crystal or Wallace Shawn? Who's
Wallace Shawn? Wallace Shawn, not Billy Crystal.
Wallace Shawn. Okay. No, Billy Crystal did My Giant. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But...
no, and I'm confusing the My Dinner with Andre the Giant. So this is like all.
Well, Andre the Giant's not even in that movie.
I know,
but there was a movie with Andre the Giant called My Dinner with Andre the Giant. So.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was a documentary.
Well, yeah, anyway.
There's an Andre the Giant documentary on HBO, but My Dinner with Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
All right, okay. I'm sorry, I'm belaboring things. I don't mean to. Okay.
No. It's okay. It's just brain farts happening all over my head. All right. So another just pointed out line that I have to bring out, and when they're getting things ready, there's like the little details of like you haven't seen Rick and Morty in a while, and just seeing Rick blast the table to extend it, I was just like, yes, yes,
yeah, for sure.
Like I love this world. I'm so glad we're back. And that line where he's like, just get wine. What do I ever ask you for? What do you ever ask me? I haven't been to school in like a year.
How do you guys feel about the cops gag?
I thought the cops gag was cleverly inverted. So this is the idea of Mr. Nimbus.
Hold on now. Is Tiki talking about the racial quick cops gag or it's just known that
generally speaking the whole thing, but just more so just the fact that Nimbus controls the cops.
Yeah, it's the whole the phrasing of he controls
Jerry
police.
Line where he's the Jerry line of, well, I don't know why it matters, but yes, we're white. And then they show up. Just to point out, they're commenting on what's going on.
You're right about that. But I was the corruption overall is what I was thinking of. We're like, oh my god, like, hey, they're you think so he has like a pull over the police. There's like an intergalactic sort of like a greasing of palms or something. Where no, he has the ability to control the police, like the Purple Man or David Tennant, or however you want. Like, he controls the police. They do whatever he says. Like, oh god, yeah.
That feels very much like an improv joke to me, and it makes sense of like knowing those writers of like, hey, just accept it. That's just the way it is. Why are you questioning it? That's very much that kind of joke of like, Nimbus controls the police. Yes. Why would you ever doubt that?
Yeah, why would the fish guy control the police too?
Exactly. Like just the absurdity, but being a universally known fact that we're unaware of. Like,
of course, we do it through the idiot.
Summer, he's Mr. Nimbus. He controls the police. I will admit that line was pretty damn priceless. I love that Jerry. Like, that to me is one of the better Jerry lines that we've gotten in a while. Just, come on, Summer, he's Mr. Nimbus. He controls the police. It's like you were saying, Josh, just like kind of like, yeah, duh, like we all know that. That's established canon.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, when you're in an improv scene, so often you have to establish things with your partner and for the audience. And
Right.
so that kind of line of, what? It's Mr. Nimbus. He controls the police. Duh. And then you just yes and like, oh, of course. Right. Mr. Nimbus controls the police. And you would just move on with the scene. But like, it just feels like very much like, hey, this is a joke, but also this is the way it is. Don't question it. Like, you know, and to reinforce it with Jerry, I feel like Jerry's best line though was, I think it was when Adam the Traveler, whoever the Traveler from the, what's it called? The weird time world comes out and tries to kill Morty. And he's like, I am Mr. Nimbus. Wait, who's that guy? And Jerry goes, get in line.
And then when Mr. Nimbus makes his grand entrance and Jerry's just like, is that Mr. Nimbus?
Just what it. This is where I'm the wet blanket at the party, folks. Is I can't stand Jerry.
You can't stand Jerry. Okay.
I can't. I don't like Jerry.
Do you mean in comparison, or you've never really been a fan of Jerry?
The only time I've ever liked Jerry was like the whole daycare of Jerry's thing. It's the only time I ever liked the Jerry moment. Really,
that was a good daycare of Jerry. Yeah. I mean, you know, Chris Parnell has his moments for sure. I think it's such a hard character to make beloved. And I feel like he at least does as good of a job as anybody could with what he's given. They don't often make Jerry like lovable as much as they make him like, God, Jerry's around. Like he's like the Meg of the show, you know?
No, it just makes me self-conscious that I'm empathizing with Rick of like, oh man, why am I empathizing with Rick over I hate Jerry too?
Yeah. And again, rewatching and getting into season 3 of when Jerry has to move out for the divorce or the separation, it's very much like really hammered in like Jerry fucking sucks.
Yes.
So just a couple of comments here on the JGI. Is anyone going to mention Jerry's enthusiasm for having a 3-way with Mr. Nimbus? We'll get there, Irish lover.
I was going to get to that.
Yeah. And then Fago Rain, get in line for the contract threesome. So that kind of is that perfectly leads us into what's next.
Really quickly, Claude makes a good point.
Please.
He says maybe it hurts his voice because he's doing the same voice for a different character in Solar Opposites.
Oh, we're talking back about Rick's voice changing. I'm so glad you noticed, Claude Coringa. No, I mean, I am really putting that out there that either there's nothing being used on his voice or he never had anything used and he's just kind of easing off of the Rick voice this season for sure. And I guess Solar Opposites would be a good. Is it the same voice as Rick? Really?
Well, it's a little more. It's a little more kind of clinical, or not clinical, but you know,
I feel like it's a very similar voice, but because the character is so different, that the delivery is kind of.
He's like a stiffer version of Rick versus a nihilistic version. That's
right.
Yeah. Corvo's very like, no, Terry, you don't understand. I dropped the pupa. Yeah,
but it's really hard to like differentiate just because Justin Roiland does so many voices, and I'm spacing on the Solar Opposites character's name, Terry and what?
Corvo.
So the Corvo voice is very much more like closer to his actual voice.
Yeah.
So, for example, when you hear the Nintendo 69 commercial, like that's Corvo. You know, but yeah, I feel like the Rick is very much Justin Roiland doing a deep voice, just like his natural deep voice, and that's what comes out. But he's just not going that much. And I know that he would even talk about how, I don't know if he would actually drink alcohol, but he would have to drink a lot of water to get or sodas to get those actual burps and to get like kind of that gravel going. So
there was one episode, the Vindicators episode, he actually did get drunk for that episode.
I just watched the Vindicators 3 episode.
And there is footage of him recording that episode drunk. So yeah, it's.
Oh wow! Oh, okay. You're saying Justin Roiland recorded
when
it. When
Roiland recorded the Vindicator, the Drunk Rick segments in Vindicators, he was legitimately schlockered.
Oh, that's
and you can
awesome.
see him getting schlockered.
Yeah. No, that's a great episode. All right, cool. So we go through Beth and Jerry are offered a threesome by like the secretary of Mr. Nimbus or something like, oh wow, look at you guys.
And I could just feel Dragon's like seething hatred for all the Jerry stuff of just like, oh hey, we're a sex positive couple now. You watch pornography. Dragon, I could feel your pain. Like I could palatably like feel your pain through the screen.
And I like Chris Parnell on Archer, but it's just like, come on, it's like,
okay, what do you hate so much? I'm so curious. I would think I was more indifferent about it. Like it didn't stick out as like, wow, this is some solid writing. But I was very much like,
I mean, look, I'm not as seething as he's leading on. But I'm not as seething on him with this episode. I'm just saying in general, it's just been building for a long time with Jerry. It's just there's a lot of I don't know. It's just Jerry. Sorry, it's just with Jerry. It just comes to I keep siding with Rick and like, yeah, what does she see in this idiot? And this guy is just he's dumb. He doesn't listen. He doesn't get the point. He's just always digging himself a hole. I don't know. There's a lot of Jerry stuff.
Yeah, and even again, I'm sorry to keep referencing season 3, but it's just so fresh in my mind on the Rick and Jerry adventure episode, like that one where they go off on an adventure together. There's like a line from Rick that says it so perfectly, where he's like, "She's Rick's daughter." Like, you
ruined Rick's daughter
at her disposal, and then you came along, bro.
And that's the thing. I agree with everything Rick said in that intense monologue. I agree with him. Every iota of what he said.
But to piggyback on Fago talking about the secretary. Secretary was like, "Yeah, I'm jealous," in the most sarcastic way. Okay, so maybe I misread. I thought the secretary wanted to bone Mr. Nimbus, but maybe not.
Yeah, I thought I thought the 3 was weak sauce, but I did love the gift basket idea. I thought the gift basket, like that being the cell, was great.
Yeah, the gift basket. Like, should we do it? Yeah, should we do this? Oh, there's a gift basket. Should we do it just for the gift basket?
Like that was like that being like a part to sweeten the deal. Well, we get a gift basket though.
Yeah, you know what? I thought it was good in the sense of like I can't even imagine what Beth and Jerry would be doing in this episode, aside from like them going out for the night.
That's what I'm saying. It just feels like we're stuck with them. We're like, come on, man. We've done some cool stuff with Beth, and Jerry's always just kind of along for the ride. We got to figure out something to keep them busy. It's like, really, that's what we're giving them to keep busy. It's like they're hitting on Mr. Nimbus.
Well, it's it was either that or to do what they did with Summer, and Summer basically was off episode the whole time, finding that oyster thing or whatever.
I do like that we're subtly building up that Summer is kind of like Rick's right-hand man at this point. I do like that little evolution.
I mean, they beat up what was it? They beat up not Hitler, they beat up the devil together. Yes.
Yeah. I was just going to reference that. I was just going to bring that. Like, that's one of my favorite sequences ever is when they do DMX of them getting all pumped up and then beat the shit out of the devil.
And wonderfully played by Alfred Molina, the devil. Just going to throw that out there.
Okay, you could throw it out. That's fine. That's good. Alfred Molina, he's the king, man.
Yeah, that he is, sir. All right.
Okay, so now we're getting into. So we've established at this point the time loop. Morty's like destined to get the wine all evening. Jessica's coming over. Oh wait, she shows up right when Mr. Nimbus shows up. We got the 3-way going. So basically, Summer's already off to go get that oyster. We have all the balls in the air by like minute 4, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. Like that is great writing in and of itself. Like everything for the rest of the episode that's going to happen has been established by this point.
Yeah, so let's just kind of get into the Narnia stuff because I feel like that's like the biggest.
The device itself to me feels like it's a bit of Narnia. It's obviously got some Game of Thrones in there. Once we do the once we kind of build certain societies, and what it reminded me most of it is like the bit from Invincible. Like the alien time dimension thing. Every time they retreat and they come back, it's been centuries.
Yes, exactly. I did think of the Invincible storyline when we were watching this. But again, that's why I thought like I knew I
thought
was
this
going to happen
went
at
like
least
way
with
more in
movies.
depth than Invincible did, though.
Oh,
well,
totally.
you're right about that. Yeah, I'm just saying it's like
when
that.
it first was introduced to us, like when he goes in and sees Hoovy, and Hoovy's like, "Oh, you need some help carrying that?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I was
that's
just
like
ready
a classic Rick and Morty, like such an innocent little thing that kind of just balloons into a nightmare.
Like, just hand them a crate. Don't go through the door. I knew the moment he went through the door.
God.
It's like, no.
I know, you know what's coming. And that's what's so beautiful about this show is like they've given you so much already that they don't even need to surprise you, but they still somehow do. Like you knew where it was going. The surprise to me was how far they took it.
Like his own son killed him. I didn't expect
gag.
that. His own son would kill him.
Oh my god, this hello father. It was so good.
It was all emaciated and had like the mother set up like Norma Bates. It was like, oh my god.
So okay, so I tried to keep track. So we go from
apparently there's 14 different generations.
Is there? Oh my god. Okay, I didn't keep track that well. So I got Hoovy. Then he goes through the door. He comes back. Hoovy's son kills him. Then he tells him about Morty. Then there's jacked Hoovy's son. Then old Hoovy's son. Then the grandkids that build the city. I was just like, oh my god, what? How far are they? And then I was like, oh, it's this the whole episode.
They're cybernetic.
They go to like the end of AI level. Fucking like weird alien sci-fi crap. Yeah,
and I love the reason for it that Morty left the tech, Rick Tech gauntlet back there, which of course I'm a sucker for Rick Tech, by the way. I love gadgets and technology. So seeing like Morty come back with meaning business, like the visor and the gauntlet, everything was awesome.
And there's something like so special. I mean, I guess Rick and Morty just like have it down to a T to do this type of shit. Because like this really takes me back. The first time I remember being blown away like this from Rick and Morty is when Morty plays the video game that's his whole life. Lives a whole life. Yeah. And like he, is a football star, gets injured, starts a furniture store, like all that shit. And he wakes up, he's like, wait, where's my family? I was like, oh my God. And that's kind of what I expected this bit to be.
Just the escalation factor,
Right. Like taking it so far, like for example, we're kind of getting our head a little bit, but since we're talking just the world of this Narnia dimension, where I think it's right before all the technological stuff, but it's basically let me look through here. Oh, the Outcast, where it was like, you've wasted our lives waiting for some boy to come, and he was like, you know nothing, you're foolish, and then he like banishes him. And then he learns magic, and like they put the leeches on him, and he has this wise teacher for like this uprising rebellion, like that kind of shit is
very Game of Thrones red wedding stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Am I still foolish now, Father? And then he kisses him.
Then the master betrays him, and
exactly like even the master betraying him. That's so genius to take it that far and such a short, concise time frame.
I love the problem took care of itself. Then Morty shows up fully armed, like, oh, he's good now. He can take care of all this. Yeah, and he decimates the castle awesomely, and he finds the crate with the visor.
Yeah, what do we feel about this? Like, way more aggressive Morty than I guess I'm remembering. Like,
I think it's been
the top of 4 he's like this, Josh. Yeah, he uses like the death crystal at the top of 4 doing this. Stuff. So it's kind of like Morty's taking charge. He's growing up, and again, hence the opening of this episode. I think it's very in character, and we're just kind of again, we're exaggerating it, but it's happening. Yeah.
No, definitely, and that's what I feel like. I'm seeing the evolution, and I'm excited to keep binging and get through 4 so I can really see how, if I can pinpoint the moment. Because he definitely just feels like, I don't know what the phrasing is, not a bitch anymore. I don't know.
He's matured. Again, he's letting out his inner Rick, as it were.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing I love about this show, that it's such a adult show of, Morty's a teenager and he's talking about drinking wine with his girlfriend. And that's like not any sort of like, oh shit, can we do that? Should we not encourage children to drink? It's like, are you fucking kidding? Yeah. This is a crazy show. Let's we can use this plot device. Let's go. So I appreciate the fact that they don't like insult your intelligence with trying to dumb it down for that, So, but yeah, where are we at? We're talking all the Narnia stuff, and should we comment more on like how do you guys feel about the Rick Nimbus banter at the table?
So I love the idea of Mr. Nimbus. He's this flamboyant, he's very flamboyant. He's just a very obnoxious dinner guest at the end of the day. He's all about this peace treaty, like I want this and this, and Rick doesn't care. Like, yeah, fine, take this and this. I don't give a crap. What do you want? What pooping in the ocean? I don't know. I don't care. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, that's my next point. Don't poop in the ocean. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just fine. I just love that Rick ultimately is just embarrassed that this guy is his nemesis. And it's kind of funny that the reason that he is his nemesis, at least what I can gather from this episode, is that you have two characters that are kind of like the happy and sad inverse of each other. Like, Mr. Nimbus is completely content with himself as the happy Deus Ex Machina character. And you have the sad, nihilistic Deus Ex Machina character as his opposite. That's kind of what makes them nemesis.
Yeah. Well, and another thing I love about Rick and Morty is as much as they do show you, we're already in season 5. There's been 40 adventures up into this point, counting. But there's also so much unspoken history with Rick. Like Rick has this infinite unspoken like backstory for all of these things that we didn't get to watch and we probably never will.
Got his wife's name in this episode.
Oh wow. Oh, that was man. And just from rewatching that season 3 Shoney's where like it has that fake flashback, I was like so much more in the feels for hearing that wife's name.
Yeah, we'll never know if that's real or not, but
I mean we will. We have to. I mean, come on. Like they have to at least come show it.
We got a name though, and he didn't say the name wasn't real, so we got Denise.
Dude, that's what I've been waiting so much. I've been like creaming my pants to make a young Rick sketch and like do young Rick Sanchez. But I'm like, I need more info, baby. I don't want to make it up. So let me see here. We got Fago Rain. Morty is changing, taking what he wants. The character growth. Richard from Irish Lover.
Well, there was a really subtle gag that was really funny to me. I don't think anyone's been talking about the Kyle gag. The fact that before Morty, Rick had another sidekick, and his name was Kyle.
Oh yeah. That was a nice little throwaway continuity thing.
That was great.
And Rick just brushes under the rug like, just ignore him. Just get the wine.
And what's so beautiful is like. And I've talked to you guys about just different stuff of, the way I write, I try to not waste anything. But Rick and Morty has such a great vibe of you don't know if it's a one-off joke or you don't know if a whole episode will be dedicated to Kyle in this season, Like it could be either or. Yeah, and that's kind of a really fun thing.
Speaking of which, when we saw Morty Unleashed and we decimated that castle and everything, if you look, a lot of people speculate. You have like some of those obnoxious sort of like, look all the circles, like, look at this, what does it mean? All the speculation, all the references.
All
those football coaches doing the plays.
Sure. Basically, essentially, the main, from what I understand, the main theory could be interesting is that maybe that's a big hint at evil Morty, perhaps. Like maybe this is a genesis of an evil Morty. I don't know.
I cannot wait for
I could see
Morty.
that. Yeah.
Man, that's what's so genius, like to have a show where you do have a through line that you can go back to whenever that'll get like as soon as you feel like maybe your audience is waning or a little bored, you can just pick that ball back up and they're like, what?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for the reverse flash. So just an idea like evil Mort and we just dip it in now and again. It's like, yes.
Oh man. Oh God. And we're talking all this multiverse and I know we joked about it. Guys, another plug for these wonderful gentlemen. So you want to be an Imagineer, link in my description, go subscribe to their channel. They're almost at 1,000. But we're talking multiverse. They discuss Loki, which has the multiverse going on. And also we got Spider-Man coming up. We got the Flash movie coming up that's going to supposedly have the Michael Keaton Batman. Come on. Let's we're in the multiverse world this year. Let's go.
Yep. It's an arms race of multiverses.
Dude,
it really is.
I love how common it's become that we can do this on a major storytelling platforms like Marvel and Disney. And like you don't have to dumb it down anymore because the audience has come so far. I love that.
Yep. All right, let's see. Okay, so I mean, so overall, I mean, we should probably talk about Time Goddess Jessica. It's probably something big.
Yeah, that I love
Real
how
quick before
that.
we time goddess it.
Yeah.
Real great squid joke of who's your witness? Mine's a squid. Wow, you really love this underwater theme, huh? Hey, just get a witness, man. Don't make it about me, okay? Like, that was a great
Morty,
joke.
come here. I need you really quick with some fucking bullshit.
Sorry. All right, squid joke aside, time goddess Jessica, take us away, please.
All right, so what I love about this bit is it's basically like a high concept sci-fi thing that is inserted into what is already a high concept sci-fi thing.
Yep.
So it's like hard sci-fi on top of hard sci-fi.
Yep, she was sentient during all that time.
I mean, I hate to say
crystal.
I hate to say it, but these are like some of the rare moments that actually give some sort of justification for that stupid Rick and Morty meme we all know. You know, the whole like,
remind me of the meme.
The whole like, you can't appreciate Rick and Morty unless you have such and such like intelligence and blah blah. And I'm like, you know what? Like, normally I think that's completely bullshit, but honestly, I feel like if you aren't like, I feel like if you're just watching Rick and Morty for like the pop culture references and whatever, and you're not into the more heavy sci-fi elements of this episode, you might get a little bit lost. Like, this episode is like, and I love how it is kind of like in the framework of the dinner party too. Like, it's two like polar extremes going on, you know?
Well, you know, it's when you watch an episode of Rick and Morty, you're right. You can get weighed down with all the sci-fi, but if you're really listening, you can hear just like a lot of the business commentary in a sci-fi sandwich, you know, because they comment on so many pop culture. Like, it's nothing but pop culture references. Like, there's a line in here. I think it's where Morty goes back and it's like, he sees himself and it's like, this is the future. Like, he's at the tree and all that.
Yeah,
and
that was her name, wasn't it?
But Morty says, like, enough of this watered down sci-fi Sundance bullshit. Like, that's such a like commentary on people who are in the business, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like, so, and
seriously, I've heard Dan Harmon many times, like, he'll just rake things over the coals of just like, you know, he'll call it the Santa Claus movies, he'll call it all out, just like the Inception, as we've already been through, like way back episode 2 of Rick and Morty. It's like, again, he'll just call everyone out.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, I have not listened to Dan Harmon's podcast, but I know that he is very much of that guild, and he has a lot of things to say about a lot of people and a lot of things that have happened in his life from making things. So, what's it called? But yeah, so okay, so we have the sentient Jessica. I didn't really. Can you guys kind of catch me? How did that happen with her? Like, what? Why did she not go right into? Or like, how did they freeze her as soon as she got there? What was all that about?
Dragon?
Okay, right. So, well, of course, you know, one thing I want to note too, I love how she kind of like, she very proactively attempted to save Morty with the corkscrew, which then kind of got her sucked into the, sucked into the place, you know, basically, because the idea is that that guy, one of the Hoovy descendants that trained all of his life to get the devil Morty. He had like a little tether that kind of like this green goo and everything. It kind of allowed him to kind of walk there. And basically, when that tether was punctured and he got sucked into himself, Jessica got sucked in there too. And I mean, I assume it was she was taken, she was sucked in there, taken prisoner, and we saw that quick montage, and then basically just kind of taken to a chamber. What's she gonna do at this point? She's not really gonna fight him off. This is like the time cognizant Jessica, so she's just kind of frozen into a chamber and basically just kind of like made into like a decorative kind of centerpiece, I guess. Just kind of watching time go by and the civilization build over a century.
Yeah, so the way I took it is basically it's just kind of like she's frozen in a status where, like, you know, she can't, like, she's perfectly healthy, like, but you know, she's still like cognitive and can see everything that's going on around her.
Yeah, while it went by during that, I couldn't really pinpoint precisely what happened, but I'm pretty sure that's just generally what happened. She was just kind of taken prisoner and just frozen in the amber or whatever you want to call it, the pink goo. But let me tell you what I really like about about this Jessica stuff. I love how Jessica, of course, very much kind of somewhat of an analogy for doing like kind of a Doc Brown and Marty McFly parody with Rick and Morty, which obviously they've avoided time travel like the Dickens.
Yeah.
And of course, what you have in there is Jennifer. It's kind of the Back to the Future 2 thing, where it's like, oh, okay, we're stuck with Jennifer as a piece of luggage, essentially, for the next 2 movies we got to deal with. Because had we known we were doing sequels, we wouldn't have put her at the end of the first movie. And we've kind of addressed that here of like, okay, so let's do something proactive here at the top, where, okay, Jessica gets sucked into one of the adventures, and ipso facto, she becomes a time goddess, and she moves past Morty's big goal of I want to get with Jessica, which now, interestingly, again, a little inch forward in progress, opens up a whole new possibilities for a 14-year-old boy who's moved past the girl of his dreams. It seems, at least for the time being, and she has moved on as well. So
I wasn't sure if Mort, like when Jessica went in, if they were going to go that route of like, oh shit, now Jessica's going to be old. Like I was like,
I was wondering.
I was ready for them to write off the character completely, almost along the lines of what you're saying. We got Becky O'Neill.
And that's the main reason she's frozen, by the way, so she doesn't become an old woman. That's the main reason.
Yeah, exactly, right? So he can go in and keep the plot going. Becky O'Neill says Morty will never get a girlfriend because of Rick. I mean, that's definitely the the problem that the series persists with.
Same reason Norman.
Hi, am I in the right place? I just saw a bunch of cops fucking.
Dude, it's so funny that you said the Back to the Future 2 Dragon, because I've been like, like just with Rick and Morty, I've been mulling over sketches and stuff, and I was like, how would that work if it's like the end of Back to the Future 2, but it's Rick and Morty? And it's like, no, Morty, I just sent you back to your dimension. I know, Rick, but now I'm back. I'm back from my dimension.
Oh, jeez, Ricky.
Yeah, then Rick passes out in the street. Oh, God. Good times. We'll see what happens. Make sure you're subscribed to Just Giggle It, everybody. We'll see what happens. Let me see here. Sounds like the monologue from Blade Runner. I don't know what you're referring to, Irish Lover. That's an old comment. Sorry.
The end of Blade Runner. Oh, sorry. You're right. I don't know what she's referring to. I was just going to explain what the end of Blade Runner was. Very foolish.
And another Becky O'Neill. I love the simplicity of taking a man out of his world for 2 minutes can cause a full-on war. Yeah.
Are they?
Her time.
Blade Runner to Jessica's speech about
that's what it is. Yes,
I think that's what it is.
In reference to that's the Blade Runner speech. It's something akin to the Blade Runner speech. Yeah.
When she's like recalling her time. Yeah, that whole thing.
That whole thing. The human experience and like.
I could see that.
Also, can we just talk like the beautiful? Even though it was like it's the only option they had, but for Mr. Nimbus to be the one who saves them. Like, oh, it was great. I was just like, yes.
Again, I love that it's the byproduct of Rick choosing to help Morty versus wasting time on Nimbus and just like, look, if you're gonna do something, do it not because of me. Just make your own decisions. All right, just I'm done with this.
Right.
That leads to a very weird save. Where again, they could have harkened back to when they were friends, and apparently this was a regular thing when Nimbus does his weird dance.
Again, I love the animation on that dance, man. I can't get enough of it. It's so freaking funny to me.
Yeah. Wait, what was his final thrust where he was like,
yeah. Oh man.
It's a little too much pencilage, but yeah.
Like that's how he he doesn't need to do that for his commands. Nope. It's just this fucking weirdo. We're kind of like skirting towards the end here.
Yeah.
We're combing down. I also just wanted to we kind of mentioned Adam the Traveler. I just love that when he was training, it reminded me of Vegeta when he's like in the spaceship.
Yeah,
it very much gave me those Dragon Ball vibes.
Totally. I just love when he bursts out of the portal. It's like it's totally just like a tables have turned kind of moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that. And again, to bring back for anyone who wasn't here at the beginning of the podcast, one of my favorite Jerry lines is, "I am Mr. Nimbus." Wait, who's that guy? Get in line. Sorry, Brandon, I know you hate Jerry.
Yeah, I do.
It's so funny. Poor Chris Parnell. He's trying.
You know, I feel bad because like, it's the thing. It's like I kind of have this realization, even with Cyril down the line in Archer. It's like, man, do I hate Chris Parnell?
I think you hate Chris Parnell.
And I feel bad. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's very.
You
nice.
know who we needed as Jerry? Jason Sudeikis. I think that would have cleared everything up for Dragon. Speaking of which, just a side note, have you boys watched Ted Lasso?
I have not. Don't
I
get
have
me started.
I've heard nothing but great things about it.
I would love to watch Ted Lasso, but I can't because Apple TV Plus.
Oh,
bro,
yeah, that's probably the reason
like
I haven't.
I have like 4 free trials of Apple TV Plus. I'll try to shoot one.
I do not own any Apple products.
That's
so
the problem. We don't.
watch
Otherwise,
Apple TV Plus.
yeah.
And I hate that that's a thing.
That's the
Apple
big.
TV Plus.
That's what I have like so many rants for Apple TV Plus. So boy,
Yeah.
but we don't.
I'll tell you this.
You want us to pirate your shit, Apple TV Plus? Really?
It's like you brought on yourself, Apple TV
Honestly,
Plus. You brought it on yourself.
I'm sorry, Josh. I'm sorry.
No. I'll give you your first 3 shows whenever you do pirate it, though. The first one, Ted Lasso, which I also was hyped beyond belief, and not as hyped as the fucking Bo Burnham special, though. Like, I don't think I can ever watch that with how much people have been telling me to watch it. Sorry.
You know what? I'm kind of in the same boat with that.
I love Bo Burnham, but I have been told to watch that special probably more than I was told to go see The Hangover. And I don't think I can like ever see it now. I've seen some songs. Anyway, Ted Lasso, kind of a similar vibe. Everyone was like, Ted Lasso. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So endearing. Jason Sudeikis is probably best performance of anything. And so watch that, then watch The Morning Show with Steve Carell and Jennifer Aniston, and then watch C with Momoa. My boy Momoa. It's basically
Defending Jacob for the kids out there. That one I was able to see, but that's great.
I haven't watched that one actually. Okay,
that is great.
Okay. Let me see here. But yeah, so getting back to this though, with Rick and Morty season 5 ending, somebody earlier in my comments said, did you watch the end of the episode at Mr. Nemes's apartment, the awkward show up at his place by Jerry and Beth? You damn right I did. And I was like, oh, they're going there. Oh, fuck. Okay, we're showing kids trying to drink, and we're just showing these. They went to go fuck Mr. Nimbus. All right.
Watch pornography.
What do you guys think about that? Like, just going for it. Like, do you feel like
I like the hesitation they have, though. It's very realistic couples hesitation. You know, it's like, wait, are we just doing this because we think the other one wants to do this?
Yes, but they don't leave it to imagination. I mean,
it's like, once Nimbus opens the door, it's like, no, it's over. They're all in.
Exactly. And I'm almost like, oh, that's so because normally you see every show go to that place or that line, but they don't cross it. And here Rick and Morty was like, no, we're crossing it. They're fucked Mr. Nimbus.
I mean, not only do we cross it, but we also kind of canonically confirm that Rick has also been there with Nimbus.
Well, yeah, and also Rick said sex with a planet, so you know.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing Rick won't do. That's like crazy.
You're right.
He's lived too much and too much life to ever be like, that's weird. Like nothing's weird, Rick. But yeah, I just personally feel like it's a bold choice. And it's like definitely trying to say something like, no, we can do. They're almost entering a new echelon this season with, I mean, even Rick and Morty Day, you know, like the fact that there was like a global campaign marketing strategy.
Yeah, I saw that on HBO Max. They had like a whole little.
Yeah, it was on HBO Max. It was online. They had a bunch of behind the scenes, like they put the first season premiere on YouTube for everyone to see. It's number 1 on YouTube. It's just becoming such a, a conglomerate, like an entity in and of itself, that they're at the point where they're like, no, we don't got to be scared of anything. We need to make these choices because we're that show now. Like, we can't ride the line. We have to just go or not go. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I'm like, South Park is there right now. You know, South Park will say or do anything because they've established the vibe that that's what they can do. And I feel like that's kind of
we're going to edit. We're going to edit Book of Mormon, which is entirely different conversation.
The distinction should be made too. Like Rick and Morty was always intended to kind of like.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Sorry.
They're gonna edit Book of Mormon when Broadway opens up. Apparently, they're gonna like make like sensitivity changes to it. Which whatever, that's an entirely different conversation.
Anywho.
Sorry, yeah, okay. I don't want to even say the F you got in the anyway.
Yeah.
I know what's on there editing. All right.
I think I've lost my point now. Okay, my point.
Sorry,
No. Like my point is, the thing should be like Rick and Morty was always kind of intended to be, and like they had this tone nailed down since the beginning with the whole like we're gonna have the boy basically kind of smuggle these giant seeds up across customs. Episode 1, so they've always been kind of like willing to go this place. And to something like Family Guy, there was like a progression of like how far it was pushing it for the sake of pushing it. This is pushing it for the sake. Well, this has been the vibe of the show since the beginning.
Okay. I mean, it has always gone there. I don't know. Just this seems just so overtly sexual. The fact that we were talking about it all episode, and then it was like, nope, it's not just a joke. They do it, But I get what you're saying. Like it's been there all along. You just haven't they've been more clever about it, maybe, or such on and so forth. But yeah, I'm not holding any points. I was just kind of curious as to what y'all's thoughts on that is. But overall, and Tiki, you kind of, teed it up at the beginning of the episode, or this podcast episode, is that, it's a great season premiere. Like, it has amazing sci-fi fun in it. That's packaged in a very traditional sitcom trope of like someone's coming over for dinner,
I wouldn't say it's quite as like gobsmacking as the season 3 premiere was, because I mean, let's face it, that season 3 premiere, like, it literally broke the internet, dude, with the Szechuan sauce thing. I mean, that was just a stroke.
That's because they kept everyone waiting for like ever, and they just randomly dropped it, didn't they?
That's also one of the scariest endings when Rick's just like, Morty, it's just gonna be me. Like, I was like, oh my god, I forgot about this rant. Like, this is scaring me.
I remember it. At that time, that was before I was watching Rick and Morty, so I was just more peeved. Like, where's my Samurai Jack episode? What's this?
But
no, Morty's gonna be you. I just want the sauce, Morty. Morty.
I definitely think this is a step up from the season 4 opener. The season 4 opener was solid, but I think it's probably the weakest of the openers. But this is I would say this is probably like on par, if not a little bit better than the season 2 opener with like the split screen timeline sort of stuff.
Oh wow, yeah, that was a great one. I mean, there's just so many great episodes that they do, and it's kind of like I'm kind of glad they got away from starting the season with it having to be this crazy plot and like going back to that, because it's so often the case from these past 4 seasons that every time they do that, they immediately just go into like normal zone in the next episode, right? So
I'm
it's kind of
worried
like
about that next week. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I definitely think, with like Dragon pointed out, they have 70 episodes. I don't think there's going to be filler in the sense of filler, but filler in the sense of, hey, this is a fun idea that we wouldn't be doing.
I'm totally fine with that, because some of the best Rick and Morty episodes are like that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, what was the episode where Morty can like restart time from a certain point? Was that the finale? Or of I haven't gotten to season 4
yet.
It
was season 4. I can't remember.
It was season 4, but that is one of my favorite episodes. But it's just they have so many cool sci-fi plot lines to go through.
Well, that was I think it was the penultimate, Josh. It has to be, because the finale was the Beth clone thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, when he can restart and then he accidentally restarts where the girl hates him and slaps him. And, oh man, brilliant. So overall, just to kind of snowball into final thoughts. Final thoughts from me on this episode. I loved it. I'm so happy to have them back in my life, because it's very rare outside of, honestly, Disney Plus lately. There hasn't been a lot of appointment television, but I was seeking this out Sunday night of like, how do I watch this? Like, I don't have Adult Swim. So I was like, okay, what's streaming site? Oh, it's on adultswim.com. Great. Easy. So, and anyone, for you guys watching it, even if you don't have a cable subscription, they put the episode up with ads right after it airs on adultswim.com.
Oh, that's nice.
if you're looking of where to watch it. That's how I saw it.
Yeah, that would have been useful earlier, but yes.
Oh, sorry, Dragon. Sorry. Maybe,
no,
maybe
that's not on you. I'm just saying I
noticed-
didn't know that either. I hear that the YouTube thing was like, oh man, if just for going forward, that would have been that's now useful. No, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe you'll notice Rick's, not so gravelly voice, as Fago Rain pointed out. I didn't point it out, but Fago Rain.
Hey guys, I gotta go. I stall for a minute.
Okay, cool.
Typical.
Dragon, why don't you kind of give me your thoughts on this whole?
Yeah, my final thoughts. Yeah, I'm really impressed with it. Again, I am kind of saying, along with season 3, it's kind of it's a big grabby premiere for Rick and Morty. Obviously, the fan base has been cultivated for for a long while. It's kind of gotten to the stratosphere. Honestly, 3 onwards, really, where it's just kind of like it's kind of too big to fail, so to speak. And it's again, five's in good hands. Again, I think with this Morty bit, I think with severing the tie between Morty and Jessica could give us some really interesting story opportunities, and seeing how universe bending they're getting with just the opening of this episode. I mean, I wouldn't bet the house on hey, next episode's gonna pick up right where this left off, in a sense. No, of course they're not going that way. They've never gone that way. I'm not gonna say we're gonna go to something as monumental, something big's gonna happen and something's gonna carry over. No, it's just gonna be another random adventure. But again, maybe it's a little inch towards progress. Which if they keep that up, that could be really interesting. There's something they've always kind of had trouble with, is sometimes building a through line, because some people are dicey on 3, and then 4 is just kind of there's not. Yeah, they're kind of iffy on how to build.
Guys, are we wrapped up? Can I wrap up? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was just going to ask Dragon a question, but go right ahead.
Yeah.
Tell us your final thoughts, please, Tiki.
Okay. All right. Final thoughts. Great episode. I'm sorry. You just did really bad timing here.
Oh, no problem. You got to jump off or something. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. It was.
See you guys later. See you next
Bye,
week.
Tiki.
Let's see. Final note is the police line with Jerry. Summer, it's Mr. Nimbus. He controls the police. All right, see you guys. Dragon, I'll be right back in a minute so we can plan stuff out. All right, see you guys.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Bye, Tiki. You're really